point where you get tired of being the good creative, the agreeable one, the grateful one. And for Bria, that moment hit like a brick. She didn't ease into her creative life, she snapped into it.
I feel as though I'm in my villain era. It's just more of taking back my voice.
There's this unspoken rule creatives grow up with: don't rock the boat. Be pleasant, be easy to work with, and meanwhile, your actual creative life is suffering under all that politeness.
Heroes and villains, people like human beings, are not light and dark. It's not
Right.
black and white. You know, we all are morally gray, just to different extents. You know, I always tell
Right.
people I can be a little hangry, I can be a little mean if I don't get enough sleep or if I don't get like
What,
num-nums. You
No.
know, I know, shocking. You know, so we all have varying levels of what we can take and not take, and I want to say that people are they're not tired of it because it works. We got, the same kind of script of like Harry Potter, Star Wars, where the boy gets orphaned and has to go on this quest and this journey. And, people can really relate to those types of characters.
Bria didn't rebel for the aesthetic. She rebelled because the good girl version of her was slowly killing the artist version of her.
I want to be creative and I want to travel and I want to enjoy and have fun and laugh and just enjoy those things. And because I was in survival mode and because, I just maybe wasn't doing too well, it has taken a long time to really figure out who I am as an individual, where I want to go. And I, am finally figuring that out at 32. And, it was a long road coming, but, my journey just took a little bit longer than others. So I feel like I can better communicate and just, I feel like I'm in that specific villain era.
Survival mode feels productive because you're always moving, but it's the kind of movement that never actually gets you anywhere. When you're constantly bracing for impact, creativity becomes a luxury, and most creatives never admit that out loud. Are you in survival mode as an artist, regardless of whether you're at survival mode as a person?
So in the beginning, definitely survival mode. I was taking any kind of job, babysitting jobs, any kind of job to pay for my editor because I knew that that was the biggest financial burden. Not burden, I don't say burden, but kind of. I mean, it was huge financial investment, but I knew that had to be done. I could kind of scrimp on other things if I had to, but the editor was important. If I did not have a good quality product, it wasn't gonna sell, unless I marketing wise got, just took off like Twilight. That's not a perfect book. 50 Shades of Grey, that's not a perfect book, but it just took off, so unless that happened to me, I needed to have a quality product.
You can't build a career when your nervous system is on fire. So survival mode is expensive. It forces you into short-term decisions that sabotage long-term growth. You're not building, you're patching leaks.
Don't murder
Well, every
people or
villain is the
anything.
hero of their own story, right?
I'm definitely the villain, probably of somebody's, but I'm definitely the hero of mine.
This is the moment creatives don't talk about because it's messy. It's not inspirational. It's not cute. It's the moment you stop performing the version of yourself other people are comfortable with. There's always a cost to choosing yourself, but there's sometimes a bigger cost in not doing it.
It's just more of taking back my voice. I feel I'm finally getting healthy. I've lost a bunch of weight. I finally feel that I'm living in my feminine energy. For those who are spiritual, I feel like I've always been in my masculine. And so that to me means, worrying about like in survival mode and having to do things by myself, being super independent. I don't want to be super independent. I want to be creative and I want to travel and I want to enjoy and have fun and laugh and just enjoy those things. And because I was in survival mode and because, I just maybe wasn't doing too well, it has taken a long time to really figure out who I am as an individual, where I want to go. And I, am finally figuring that out at 32. And, it was a long road coming, but my journey just took a little bit longer than others. So I feel like I can better communicate and just, I feel like I'm in that specific villain era.
Once she stepped out of survival mode, the ideas didn't trickle back, they flooded. It's wild how fast your creative life expands when you stop treating it like a side quest. This wasn't a reinvention, it was a return.
I am in a really unique position where I got to, because I'm also a swim instructor during the summer, and I do really well. And so I normally, during the school year, I'm a substitute teacher, but I kind of wanted to get away from that and maybe start making some real money. And there's, you can only make so much in that school day. And so
Right.
I'm like, you know what, let me just take a little bit of time off. Let me focus on writing. Let me focus on things. I have some money saved up. I'm going to be fine. And so now I'm kind of looking for the other job. But right now I'm in a very unique position where I have maybe more time than others. But, with that struggle, it's really having to maintain some kind of schedule in order to stay focused on writing. And because sometimes I'll tell myself, oh, I'm going to do these other things. And I swear I'm going to work on the book. Oh, I can do that tomorrow, though. And then you're going to do it tomorrow. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I have to have some kind of to-do list. At least I could write one chapter a day.
People see the book, they don't see the invoices. Creative success looks glamorous from the outside, but behind the curtain, it's spreadsheets, cold emails, and praying your editor's invoice doesn't hit at the same week as rent. This is one of the parts that I think is good to remember. The emotional shift is free, but the career shift is not. And yet this is where her villain era pays off. You can't hustle like this when you're still trying to be polite. Even something as simple as a book signing isn't simple. You're paying for travel, inventory, displays, and hoping the store even lets you in the door. The creative dream has a price tag, and most people don't see it until they're already in line. The villain era isn't about being cruel, it's about refusing to shrink. At some point, every creative has to choose between the version of themselves that keeps the peace and the version that actually makes art. Bria chose the version that creates, and honestly, that's the only version that survives for her. So as always, folks, we only unpacked a small portion of this. The entire interview is available on my podcast, the Light-Minded Arts Podcast. So if you would like to learn more about Bria and our conversation, hop on over there and check it out because we talked about a lot of great things. I will see you next time.